In the first episode, Henry Sinclair's world was formed by memory, loss, inheritance, and the first distant whisper that men had gone west and never returned. In this episode, that whisper becomes a cause. Henry remarries, his household grows, his obligations deepen, the craft draws him further inward, and then, at last, the journals say plainly what has only been hinted before, that the Templars need a new home, and that home is to be sought in the Western lands. This is the episode where private life and hidden history begin to lock together. When we rejoin Henry, the uncertainty of the 1360s begins to settle into something more stable. He has met Lady Jean Halliburton. Soon after, King David dies, Robert is to be crowned, and Henry is drawn into the next phase of noble responsibility: marriage, dynastic expectation, and the building of a household meant to endure. The journal places all of this in quick succession, and that pace matters. Henry is no longer drifting between grief and apprenticeship. He is being rooted, politically, domestically, and symbolically. And that domestic grounding matters because the larger mission ahead will need exactly that: continuity, heirs, land, loyalty, and a household strong enough to survive absence. September 27th, 1368. Today we celebrate the Day of the Willows in respect to Artemis and Asherah. I will leave this next day for Parliament in Perth. I hope to return within the month. December 22nd, 1370. I have met Lady Jean Halliburton this day. She is a beauty and would be a good marriage for my family. She is well trained in womanly arts and herbs and knows her duty to her lord and house. February 25th, 1371. King David has died, and his nephew Robert is to be crowned king. Sir Robert and I must attend his coronation. Upon return, I will be married at Darrelton Castle to Lady Jean Halliburton on the 31st day of March. Lady Jean is the daughter of Sir John Halliburton. She is a beauty, young, and of marriageable age, and we should have many children. Sir John Halliburton has arranged the marriage contract, and we live at Rosslyn, where I must manage my estates. My children will be brought up to appreciate both their Scottish and Orkney heritage. March 18th, 1371. I was married this day to Lady Jean Halliburton of Darrelton. She brings a dowry of much gold and lands in Darrelton. June 1st, 1371. We begin this day building a home for my future family. They must have a fine home according to their status where my new wife will feel safe. I will leave in 7 days hence to collect the rents and inspect the farms. But the journal never lets stability remain simple. There is a new alliance in the world around Henry. Jean becomes pregnant, then he returns home to find that the child is lost. Immediately after that sorrow, the journal records another advancement in the craft. That ordering is important. The journals repeatedly place bereavement beside initiation, as if Henry's private suffering is always being folded into a larger discipline. The tone is never melodramatic, it is matter of fact, but the restraint gives it weight. Henry is being prepared, not just to rule lands, but to carry secrets and obligations that require endurance. October 30th, 1371. Word has been received that a Franco-Scottish alliance has been created through the Treaty of Vincennes. Orkney is still apart from the alliance and must determine where we lie in this alliance. I travel to Edinburgh to speak with my elders and confidants. My lady is with child and will deliver in the spring. She is attended by 3 of her ladies and eagerly awaits my return with news of her brothers. September 22nd, 1371. I have returned from Edinburgh to find that my lady has lost our child. She cries all day and night, but I reassure her that this is common for a first child and that we will have many other children. She is glad that I have returned and looks forward to the holiday season. December 1st, 1371. I was raised this day by the craft as a sublime knight and have been given instruction and obligated to the duties of the sublime knights elected. The next movement in the journal may sound ordinary at first, but it is doing important work. Arguments between crofters, travel between estates, cloth and tapestries for the new home, a wife settling into her role, councils, boats, patrols, local defense. These entries matter because they establish Henry as a functioning lord, not merely a symbolic one. He is increasingly shown as a man who judges disputes, manages labor, plans defenses, and thinks in terms of systems rather than moments. That becomes essential once the Western mission starts to demand real logistics rather than romantic imagination. March 3rd, 1372. My wife is preparing to visit her brothers and family this month and shall leave this next day. She is excited to tell them of her new life in Rosslyn and the progress of the new home where she will live. She hopes to return with tapestries and cloth to decorate her new home. April 5th, 1372. I return this day from collecting rents and have spent much time deciding arguments between crofters who both claim the same goats in their get. It pleases me that they accept my judgment, but distresses me that such petty things should need to be decided at all. I must create a council who can deal with the local problems so as not to be bothered with trivial things. May 5th, 1372. My lady has returned from Darrelton Castle with news of her brothers Walter and Henry, who are becoming fine men. She has also brought tapestries and looms to make cloth for our new home and seems happy in her duties. October 17th, 1372. My lady tells me she is once again with child and will deliver before summer next. She hopes for a healthy boy, so we might have an heir. We celebrate with a feast during which we receive the first snow of the season. My lady calls it a blessing from the Holy Mother to blanket us with love. November 22nd, 1372. A council of my counselors has been called to discuss the raids of the Norsemen on our shores and outlying islands. We must devise a plan to protect our neighbors and plan to build more boats to support our plan. March 30th, 1373. The winter months have been kind and we have been able to finish 5 small fishing craft which will be used to patrol the northern isles. With advance notice and an improved presence, we hope to discourage raids during the winter months. And now we come to one of the most important turning points in Book 1. The Brethren meet to discuss the needs of the Templars in Midlothian. Then, a week later, the journal states it directly. The order continues, but it is outlawed in the land. They seek a new home in the Western lands, where Brethren have supposedly prepared a place for them. Plans begin to assist in their departure. That is the moment where the story changes. Before this, the Western world was memory, rumor, longing, and unresolved absence. Now, it becomes policy. Now, it becomes strategy. Now, it becomes a relocation project tied to survival, secrecy, and continuity. April 18th, 1373. The Brethren of the Craft have met this day to discuss the needs of the Templars who have requested our assistance in Midlothian. We meet again next 7th day to conclude this matter. April 25th, 1373. The Brethren of the Craft met this day and discussed the needs of the Templars in Midlothian. While their order persists and they are well provisioned, they have been outlawed in the land. They are seeking a new home in the Western lands where their brethren are to have prepared a home for them. Plans begin to assist in their departure. Almost immediately after the Western mission is named, Henry's own bloodline expands. A son, Henry, is born. Then later, another son, John. The journal keeps pairing public mission with family continuity. That pattern is too consistent to ignore. The future of estates, titles, vows, and hidden obligations depends on sons, daughters, marriages, and homes that can carry memory forward. This is one of the reasons the journals feel less like isolated adventure tales and more like dynastic records with an esoteric spine. May 24th, 1373. A son, Henry, was born this day. He is named after his father, and if he lives, will become heir to our estate. He is a lusty boy and howls continually. June 24th, 1373. Today we celebrate St. John's Day with a feast. My daughter Margaret has joined us in Rosslyn for several weeks. She is now 7 years old and adores her little brother. She will return to Stratherland shortly after Assumption of Our Lady Mary. September 29th, 1373. My lady tells me she is expecting another child. She is most happy. May 15th, 1374. Today my son John was born at Kirkton. He is named after my lady's father and looks to be a healthy child. Unlike his brother who insists on holding him, he is a quiet child and seems happy and content. June 1st, 1374. I learned this day that 4 fishing boats from Orkneys were lost at sea after being driven off course while traveling to Iceland. I must make reparations to their families and see that they are cared for. August 1st, 1374. Our new home in Rosslyn is near completion, and this coming season will be ready for the upcoming winter. Lady Jean has been working valiantly on the tapestries with her ladies and prepares readily for Michaelmas. January 2nd, 1375. Today is celebrated the advent of Isis as the people prepare for a new sowing season. The old religion is still practiced in parts of Scotland, even though the people claim to be good Christians. From here, the journal widens again. The focus shifts towards Orkney, administration, royal appointments, rival claims. and Henry's growing sense that he must secure his own position if he wants to protect what matters. A cousin is appointed administrator. Later, that appointment ends. Henry knows he must campaign for his own claim. A daughter is born. Then, in 1379, he travels with rivals to Norway, each seeking the earldom. This is where the episode begins to accelerate. Everything that came before, family, land, craft, hidden cause, now moves towards a political test. July 1st, 1375. King Haakon of Norway has appointed Alexander de Ard, my cousin, as administrator of Orkney. In return, he has re-signed all ownership to land in Scotland which he inherited from my mother's sister, Matilda de Strathearn. June 24th, 1376. Alexander de Ard was terminated as Commissioner of Orkney this day. I must campaign for my own appointment. December 16th, 1377. Today, a daughter Elizabeth is born in Kirkwall. She is a comely child and does not cry. She and her mother both do well. July 5th, 1379. Alexander de Ard, Malise Sparrow, and myself leave for Norway, each to plead with the king for an appointment as Earl of Orkney. I hope that he is open to my pleas above those of my cousins. And then he gets it. In August 1379, King Haakon grants Henry the charter installing him as Earl of Orkney and giving him lordship of Shetland. But the victory is not simple. It comes with promises: men to defend the islands, gold to be paid, peace to be kept, rivals to be managed, loyalties to be balanced between Norway and Scotland. This is not just a promotion, it is an elevation into consequence. The boy from the first episode is gone. The young lord from the second act of his life is gone. Now Henry is a regional power with obligations broad enough to support or endanger the Western enterprise. August 2nd, 1379. A charter was given by King Haakon today at Marstrand to install me as the Earl of Orkney. I have also been given the lordship of Shetland. I will do my best to govern these lands and pray that the mother and father bless me. I have made promises I hope to keep, but know they will be difficult. To keep these promises, I must find 100 good men to defend Orkney in the king's name and pay to the king or his officials at the festival of St. Martin 1,000 gold pieces of English coin. My cousin Malise Sparrow has promised to cease his claim to the earldom, and we have made peace with my cousin Alexander de Ard. We move forward in the best interest of the people of Orkney. August 28th, 1379. My brother, John Sinclair, was married this day to Ingelberg, the base-born daughter of King Waldemar. Her mother is Jova Little, who is the daughter of Sir John Little, the Commissioner of Rügen. September 1st, 1379. At King Haakon's request, I must pledge my faithfulness to Norway over the country of Scotland. I take this pledge, although I know in my heart that Scotland and Orkney will always be first in my thoughts. I must do my best to please the king and still make the people of Orkney happy. By the end of this episode, the shape of the story has changed. The Western lands are no longer a childhood horizon. They are now bound to outlawed brethren, planned departure, dynastic continuity, and a lord who has just been given the political weight to matter. Henry has a wife, children, lands, rank, rivals, and obligations to two worlds. And that makes the next phase of the journal far more dangerous. Because in the next episode, Henry's rule is tested. His enemies become more immediate. The hidden communities become more visible. And eventually, a shipwreck off Shetland will bring into his life the men who helped turn the Western Vision into an actual voyage. And that's a wrap on episode 2. If you like this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Reality Redacted.